After you eat those delicious cookies, take that box and measure 4 inches all the way around. It doesn't have to be 4 inches. It can be anything you choose. But mine, I did 4 inches from the bottom, and then I just slid it apart because it makes it easier to cut. Then you cut it all the way around. Now I glued my box back together. I'm using a tacky glue here, and it is a clear kind. Now it does take a little while to dry. If you want instant hold, you can put some duct tape on this. You can use masking tape. You can even hot glue it. But I'm thinking if the girls are doing it, a tacky glue is best. And then you can add tape on top of this just until it dries. Now here I'm taking extra cardboard. This was from the back of a drawing tablet, and it's nice and smooth. You can use any cardboard you have. You can use another box, another cookie box. But basically this is so that we can wrap fabric around it. So we're measuring the sides and then cutting it down a little bit. It has to be short enough that you can fit it in there with fabric wrapped. Doing 2 sides at a time. My bigger sides first. That'll work. This is the first time I'm actually using the fabric Mod Podge. I think you can use regular also, but I thought, hey, why not try this fabric kind? So, put a nice amount on here. And I even did the sides. And then I'm gonna lay it on the fabric. I did not give myself a lot of extra room around the sides for wrapping. And I'll show you why, because you don't have to wrap all of the sides each time. You can, but it takes more time. So I'll just show you how I did it. Now we're going to add that fabric Mod Podge to the back before we slide it into the inside of our box. Just going to tuck this top part. That's it though. And I don't even have to spend a lot of time doing that because I am going to add trim to the top. Time to measure the other sides. Cut it a little bit shorter. And now I'm giving myself lots of extra room. the corners. So you're going to cut corner to corner. That makes it easier for wrapping. Generous amount there, and then start folding the sides in. It is very sticky. Generous amount again, and we're going to slide that in and press down. Do the same thing on the other side. Let's take a closer look here. So now those are fitting good. And because we spent the time and wrapped just this side and the other side, it makes our corners look neat. Time for the outside. So make sure your fabric piece that you pick for this is long enough that it wraps around the whole box. And then just make sure you smooth it out real well. One more to go. And then you'll cut off the extra. And then we'll just tuck this edge in nice and neat. Okay, I didn't show myself doing this, but what I did was I cut all of the sides down to the bottom of the box, and then you just pull one of them over. And now you cut off all the extra. And now you're going to clean up these edges. So just a little bit of glue on there and fold it in. Now after this part, I did let this sit overnight. Let's make the top of this nice and neat. You don't have to do this part. You don't have to add tape in here. I did because I wanted to kind of squeeze it together and hold it in place while I am putting a trim on top. You could hot glue this part too. The trim, we will be doing some hot gluing. So if your girls are young, I recommend letting them glue it in place with the tacky glue, and then you go over it with a hot glue. Checking out my choices here. Found it. So after you find your trim and you cut it to the right sizes, did hot glue, like I said I was going to, on one side and then over top of this too. This trim was nice and wide, so it was very easy to cover that tape. You might not always have a nice wide trim. One side at a time. This will be for the bottom piece that goes inside the box. Again, we're measuring, but we're going to cut it much smaller than the outside measurement of the box. And you can see I'm using a different kind of cardboard here. Now let's see, a little too tight, so we'll take this down a little bit more. You want to make sure that you can get it in there. That should do it. Glue and wrap. This is the last piece that we have to glue and wrap. This one has to be neatly done also, just so that it's a beautiful bottom piece. Now I'm also adding hot glue to this. Mod Podge all over that bottom. Little hot glue too. Stick it in and push it down. Let's take a look inside. Woohoo! Looks pretty nice in there. My edges are great. And now we're ready to fill. So, it can be used in a bedroom or a bathroom. Filled with some personal things. Gorgeous. Or we can use it for the craft room. This box becomes pretty sturdy with all that extra cardboard in there.